Horror games have multiple purposes, but we all know that their main purpose in general is to give you a fright. They work as predators waiting for their prey to reach a certain location or be in a specific position so they can attack you and cause the most panic in your heart and instability in your emotions. However, every game has its own style of achieving that goal. Some of them love to make you comfortable first, believing that you're safe and everything around you is calm, before taking you off guard with a sudden shocker that will leave you stunned for a few moments, wondering what happened. While other games prefer to keep you stressed the whole time, waiting for something to happen before they shock you with a jump scare that's very different than the one you expected or imagined. In this kind of situation, there are different types of people. There are people who can keep their cool and pretend that nothing happened. And there are players who simply get a heart attack and get completely destroyed mentally. But in the moments I'm going to talk about today, it doesn't matter how solid your emotions are or how stable your heart is, because sometimes things are just too much to handle. So let's end this long intro and just start the countdown. Evil Inside is a horror game that has been covered a couple times before on this channel, and we explained its plot twist and unbearable jump scares. However, while making this video, I couldn't resist adding it to the list because it simply fits like a charm. And it's hard to ignore that it has one particular jump scare that literally forced you to stop for a couple of seconds and touch your heart to make sure everything is fine with it. The story of the game revolves around a young man called Mark, who's investigating the family house to uncover the truth about his mother's death after she was murdered recently and his father was arrested as a suspected killer. Anyway, the plot is not very important for today's video because what makes this title compatible with this list is none other than its insane, sudden scares that come out of nowhere. However, the most messed up and powerful jump scare happens at the beginning when you're just getting ready to understand what the heck is happening around you and trying to get familiar with the eerie house. Once you go through the hall for the first time, you'll encounter the baby jump scare, which represents the ghost of your little brother, but trust me when I tell you that even though it's just a baby, it literally made my heart lose contact with reality because it was simply unexpected, loud, and happened right when you thought the atmosphere was calm.
Achievement unlocked. Complete one round. One round of what? What did I complete? Oh.
Oh! Oh! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Mom?
Hellseed is one of those high-quality indie horror games that are actually very rare to find these days. It revolves around a detective who goes to a mysterious, chilling house to investigate the disappearance of a doctor in the city of Turin, Italy, but apparently something more sinister happened in the place. And there are much more dark events you need to uncover that include weird medical experiments. The playthrough contains dozens of unique, well-designed jump scares that are very effective and occur at the right moments where they can actually take you off guard. With that being said, let's now focus on the particular jump scare that can pretty much make your brain freeze and leave you wondering what you should do and what the heck is coming at you. The jump scare I'm talking about takes place in the kitchen, and it occurs right after you open the refrigerator when everything looks casual and sounds calm until suddenly the music shifts and some ugly guy holding a brain walks right at you. At that moment, you'll probably freeze and surrender to fate, but gladly, the thing disappears after a few moments, giving you some time to comprehend what the hell it was.
Oh no, this is not good. Hi.
When it comes to the best horror games in the last 10 years, you probably know that From the Darkness should always be mentioned and praised. On this channel alone, it was pretty much talked about a dozen times across different topics, including its chilling atmosphere, great visuals, and dark story that centers around a mysterious grandfather and the photo album you need to find. However, today we're going to focus on the exact moment where the game literally makes your heart ask for mercy and calls for a timeout. This event happens when the lights go off in the apartment and you start investigating the place and searching for certain tools and items all over the place while using a flashlight to see around you. Once you enter the cubby and find the tool that you need, you'll feel a little bit of relief and think that you're safe now, especially because there are no weird sounds and silence is pretty much dominating the atmosphere. But once you turn around, you'll get one of the biggest shockers you've ever dealt with in a horror game.
I bet it goes to the thing in here. Yup. Oh, that,
A-okay. Let's see if it opens this box. If it doesn't open this one, it opens the one above me. Yes. Oh, please stop.
For this, right here. Perfect.
Iblis is a Turkish horror game that takes place in a haunted house. And when I say haunted house, I literally mean one of the spookiest haunted houses you can ever investigate in an indie horror game. The whole place is darker than ever. The classic background music is casual in a way that makes everything sound even creepier. And the photos around the house make you feel that this is an actual home that a real family used to live in and not something invented by someone's wild imagination. The backstory of the abode revolves around a bride who died in an accident, but apparently her soul inhabited the place. And for some reason, she's very angry and does not want anyone inside. Your mission as a religious official is to investigate every room and corner to find any clue that can help you understand why she's doing this, or if there's something else that might be hiding even more secrets. Throughout the walkthrough, you'll encounter multiple alarming and disturbing supernatural events, like flickering lights and dishes falling from the kitchen ceiling, which will make your heart skip a few beats. But no event can compare to the moment when you finally get an unexpected clear sign of the female ghost's existence when she finally runs in front of you like a crazy woman, screaming loudly before disappearing in the dark shadows. It all happened while everything was calm, and that's exactly what puts your heart to the test at that intense, fast encounter.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله بسم الله حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
We gotta go upstairs. Oh god, we gotta go back upstairs. Alright. I'm starting to get used to this. It's okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله.
Yeah, this is definitely a model.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
Escape the Awoki is basically a game like no other when it comes to challenging experiences that force you to give up before achieving anything. When Lucas talked about it in a previous video, he described it as a heart attack simulator. And to be honest, he's not wrong or even exaggerating. The objective here is to escape a big, scary mansion that you wake up in without any idea how you ended up there. But to do that, you need to find a few keys and items first, which is not as easy as it sounds because while you're trying to achieve that goal, you'll be chased relentlessly by an ugly, terrifying beast called a Awoki. He's fast and terrifying, and he literally can hear any move you make, including your footsteps and even your actual voice on the microphone. Every encounter with the Awoki is pretty much a heart attack simulation, so I can't really pick a certain moment that has more power and effectiveness than the others, but I can definitely assure you that finishing this game is a pain in the buttocks on so many levels, and you can only understand this when you dive into it yourself.
Actually, I don't know that. That could be a pig in a blanket for all I know. Oh! 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 What the hell? Okay! Oh,
What the freak? Bro, why's he crawling? Bro, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, run! Run! Run!
I think it's safe to say that this title is one of the best and most memorable psychological horror games of all time, if not the ultimate best ever made. In the game, you take on the role of Dwayne, a guy who wakes up in a mysterious house filled with paranormal activity and a haunting atmosphere, and the main objective is to uncover the truth behind the house's dark history and the tragic events that took place there. The game is generally known for its atmospheric and unsettling gameplay, rather than relying heavily on jump scares. However, it does contain some of the most brilliantly effective jump scares that occur at the perfect moments when they can mess with you the most. But if you ask me personally about which jump scare is the most haunting, I would definitely tell you that it has to be the Lucy encounters. She is a girl dressed in a white nightgown stained with her own blood and has disheveled black hair and striking green eyes. It's also worth noting that she doesn't have a lower jaw because she literally ripped it off herself. If that doesn't give you an idea of how crazy and disturbing she is, then you're obviously missing the point here. Even though the encounters with her are expected and should be predictable since you're aware that she's following you, her appearance remains a shocking and startling challenge for your emotions and heart rate.
Only pills can keep you sane at this point. Oh, fuck no, I got them as well, mate. Hang on.
Surely she won't be this way here. So I don't know right now. She could. She was.
Stop talking and just go.
Oh my gosh! No way!
When it comes to the indie horror games that stood out in 2022 and left their impact, we all know that Madison takes the cake fair and square. Its insanely detailed visuals, powerful dark sounds, and complex puzzles make it a unique experience that is hard to forget or avoid if you haven't played it yet. The story takes a few hours to finish, but finishing it will cost you a piece of your heart and maybe some years from your life too, because this game is not playing around when it comes to jump scares and sudden interactions. In many cases, you'll encounter casual paranormal occurrences like flickering lights and chairs moving on their own, but the main tests you'll deal with are the crazy random encounters with the serial killer, Madison, who is also the demon trying to possess the protagonist, Luca. This thing literally appears everywhere, and whenever you think it's gone, it shows up right in front of you to remind you that you're not safe anywhere and that your heart needs some time to process what just happened.
Oh, come on, man. Just let me out of this thing. Bro.
The winter. Alien Isolation is a type of game that you should only play when you're confident that you're a master of stealth mechanics, and that you can also handle one of the smartest monsters you can ever deal with in the realm of gaming. And when I mention the word smartest, I actually mean it, because the intelligence of the aliens in this game is both impressive and terrifying at the same time. You can have the hardest time trying to figure out how to hide properly without triggering them in any way because they simply don't give up easily. They will investigate the room for a long time until they find you or make you feel mentally exhausted, even if you manage to evade them. But the scariest moment of the whole experience is when you actually believe that you are safe and that you outsmarted the alien before they suddenly show you how gullible you are and appear right in front of your face in a complete shocker that is surely very memorable and heart destabilizing.
Stop! You're on fire! Get under the bed. Brutale.
Marguerite, you still falling over that boy? I told you to throw him out. We already have enough men in the house.
Quiet, Jack. You'll scare him. And don't forget our little girl insisted that he stay, so you shut up!
What'd you say?
Oh! This is all your fault! You goddamn homewrecker!
Resident Evil is a big franchise that includes dozens of installments and remakes. But in my opinion, Resident Evil 7 is the most complete and memorable installment in the history of the series for so many reasons. Whether it's visual story or intense combat and action, this game literally has it all, aside from the horrifying moments that occur all over the place. It marked a return to the series' survival horror roots after the more action-oriented direction of its recent predecessors, especially since it embraces a slower pace, atmospheric exploration, and psychological tension, creating a sense of fear and vulnerability throughout the whole playthrough. It also introduced a first-person perspective, which greatly enhances immersion and intensifies the horror experience, because players see the world through the eyes of the protagonist, making encounters with grotesque enemies and eerie environments more personal and terrifying. With that being said, there's definitely one enemy in the whole game that stands out as the most insane and difficult to deal with. And that enemy is obviously the infamous Lady Marguerite, who is the matriarch of the Crazy Baker family. This psychotic woman is one of the main bosses here, but she's not like any other boss you've ever dealt with in your whole journey as a gamer. She's powerful, loud, and ugly, and she definitely knows how to shock you with her appearance out of nowhere. Defeating her takes patience, skill, and precision in shooting, but your heart will definitely get a few hits before you finally bypass her.
Fuck. Stay out of here!
There's an altar up here. The Christ!
I'll be able to go upstairs where the punishment room and the contaminated room.
Hey!
So let's go upstairs. Oh! Jesus, dude! What the?
Oh.
You probably knew from the beginning that this video could not exist without including PT in it and talking about its terrifying moments that made us stick to the horror genre for years to come. The infamous sighting of Lisa and its shadowy presence are still a source of nightmares for us, and inspiration for developers to this day, not just because it's the scariest, but basically because it's the most original. The strongest aspect of the game is its psychological side, which always makes the player uncomfortable due to the fact that Lisa is somewhere in the house and her uncanny breathing keeps echoing in your ear as if she's right next to you. However, when she officially catches you from behind, that's when you realize the stress and horror are over because you're probably dead and your heart stopped at that point.
Touch that. Oh my! Shut up behind me! Ah! Jesus!
204-863. 204-863. I don't know what that means. Oh God! Oh God! Get away! No! Ew! Ew! You're gross.